So you're in the market for some new speakers. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News. Tonight's Tuesday tip is all about how to go and look at speakers and to kind of compare speakers a little bit. For those of you who are in the market for some new speakers here in 2016, I've got a couple of tips for you tonight that will hopefully help you make an informed decision when it comes to buying your speakers. First off, there of course are passive speakers and there are the active speakers or powered speakers. We're going to only talk about really the powered speakers. I know this has been a debate recently. Oh, I think passive sound better. When it gets to subwoofers, that might be the case, but truthfully, with some of the new technology that the active tops with the amp built in compared to the same box, there's not that much difference anymore. So that debate I think is ridiculous, so we're not even going to go there. But we're going to talk about though is what you need to look for in your speakers. First off, if you're going to be doing the type of events where you have larger rooms, many people, you need to be looking at speakers that can move air. That means, this is a physics thing. They've got to be able to move the air to make that bass sound. Now, if you're not doing anything with bass, if you're just doing some audio things, you can probably look at speakers with smaller, drivers in them compared to if you have teen dances, you're going to need bigger drivers. Keep that in mind. If you're doing bigger rooms, you're going to need bigger drivers to be able to move air in that big room. Yes, you can take a 12-inch two-way cabinet, two of those, and you can do a 3 basketball court gymnasium size area and have sound. Is it going to be good sound? Is it going to be pushing the speakers to the limit? Is it going to give the kids or people the sound they want? Probably not. So keep that in mind. You need to have physical size to move air. Secondly, the thing you're really going to want to look for when it comes to speakers, besides the size and the sound, we'll get to the sound too, is you want to know what the SPL rating. Don't look at watts. Watts are very, very misleading because some 2,000 watt amplifiers can't outdo a 500 watt amplifier if there's different technologies, and we've talked about this on Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. Don't look at watts. Instead, look at SPL ratings. There's going to be a couple of different ways that they'll talk about SPL ratings. They'll talk about the 1 watt at 1 meter rating, which is going to tell you how efficient that speaker is, which is an important part of it. Secondly, is you need to know what the max SPL rating is, and this is a measurement of the sound pressure that's going to be coming off these cabinets. That max SPL can be one of two ways. It can be either a calculated one, which means that they really didn't test it. They gone through and it's like, okay, at 1 watt and 1 meter, it's this, and if we use our wattage and doubling it every 3 dB, it's going to give you this. Calculated. Probably won't get you there, most likely. Or you've got the one where they actually measure it and test it, which is preferred. If you can find one where they've actually measured the SPL, max SPL for the cabinet, that's what you want. Compare SPL ratings, whether it's at 1 watt and to 1 meter, the 1 watt at 1 meter, or if you're going to be doing max SPL. That's going to give you an indication, because on your dance floor, your speakers are going to be, here giving you that SPL rating, and then every, in my estimation, and what I've done is about every 15 to 20 feet, you're losing about half the volume. So if you start here and you're at 100 SPL, it's going to be going down about half volume, and when you get out there a ways, it's going to be, too low for a dance floor. Maybe that's going to work for your application, maybe it won't. So look at SPL rating. That's more important than wattage. If you're only going to see that 1 watt, the SPL at 1 watt, 1 meter, that thing, then the wattage is going to give you a little bit, but it's still not going to give you a true indication of what that cabinet can do. Then, of course, it's all about sound. Does it sound good to you? Does it have a warm sound? Are you looking for a warmer sound? Are you wanting to have a little bit more of a boomy bass? Are you wanting to have a tight bass? Are you really into the mids and the highs and you want to have a crisp high? Cabinets, different manufacturers, their cabinets all sound different. Each one has their little thing. Some have more of a bass feel. Some have got more of a boomy bass. Some have got a really tight bass. Some have got a very little bass where it's more heard than felt. Each manufacturer's got their own little niche when it comes to audio, and some are very, very similar. Don't get me wrong, but you need to, find out what they sound like, which ones you like, and then that'll give you a better indication of which cabinets you want to go with. So hopefully that helps you. The biggest thing though, gang, is again, SPL rating is really the king when it comes to finding out what speakers can do. Wattage, not so much. Aesthetics, yay, we want them to look good, that's for sure. But you want to make sure you've got the physical area to be able to move enough air for your dance floor, and also the sound pressure, SPL, high enough to really keep your dance floor and room going. If this is your first time watching one of our Tuesday tips, please go down and hit the subscribe button. Well, actually, we'll put it right here. Let's put the subscribe button right here. please click that so you will be one of the first to know whenever a Tuesday tip hits or one of our other shows hit. Click subscribe. That will get you there, and we appreciate you watching today. If you have seen some of the Tuesday tips or you missed some of them, we'll put the Tuesday tip right here, that link. You can click this little player right here, and that's going to take you to all of our Tuesday tips, so you can go and watch the playlist and kind of bounce through and see some of them that you've missed, because we got a lot of good information that comes out every Tuesday afternoon, and we'd really like it if you could check some of those out. Once again, this was a little tip on how to look at speakers if you're going to be making a purchase in 2016. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News with our Tuesday tip.
If I were you, I'd hit the subscribe button before I hit the video. But don't mess things up. Wanna know why? Because I'm Batman.